All right, welcome back, friends. In this video, I'm going to be explaining the flute choir cards, which some of you have. We're also mainly going to be focusing on the idea of a two-chord vamp, which there are many of. So I'm going to explain something about the cards first. That'll clear up, hopefully, any confusion or any mystery surrounding the cards because they are mysterious. And then we're going to get into some two-chord vamps. I'll show you some examples, and that'll get you started. So let's go to the overhead, and first of all, quick review. There are 6 different cards. Each card has 3 finger diagrams, and the finger diagrams represent a chord. So for example, let's go here. You can see them over here. And I'm going to keep the cards up in this little box for you. Each card has a chord. Now, the number 1 chord has the number 1 card has the root chord of the key, and these can be in any key. So let's say for right now, we're just going to use our A minor flute, which plays in the key of C major. That's the relative major. So I've talked about that before, but just take my word for it. In A minor, in A Native American style flute, typical flute, 5-hole, 6-hole flute, plays in the key of C major. So that means that the number 1 card is the C chord. And I want to show you, if you follow along, let's go back to the overhead. Follow along. I'm going to play these 3 notes now. I'm going to start with the first one. That's our C, and then we're going, and that's E, and then that's G. So C, E, G makes a triad, makes a chord. And if I go back over here to the ukulele, let's pick up the ukulele. So I want to show you. So you just heard D, 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 C, E, G. So if I play, I have to play the low G because that's what I have. So these notes on the card here that you're going to play on your flute represent the chord tones of the C chord, the C triad. And every one of these cards is essentially just giving you the chord tones that you play on your flute. So let's go back. The number 2 card is D minor. That's the second, the second chord in the key, D minor. Right? And if I play them on my flute, it's going to match those. So I have A. Sorry, I'm cheating. All right, so I hope that's pretty clear. So each card represents a chord. Now, let's go to the idea of a 2-chord vamp. Let's pick, well, as long as we have them, let's have these 2 chords or cards, and let's put them up here. So we've got the D minor chord and the C chord. So the C is the root, C, key of C, and then the first chord up the scale, D, we go from C to D, and let's put the, we're going to put the D minor chord first. We're going to put the number 2 chord first, and we are going to, well, I am going to play back and forth. That's a 2-chord, and vamp means repeating pattern. So that's all it means. I'm going to put my headphones on. We're going to go into the looper, and we're going to loop these chords back and forth. Sorry, I keep disappearing. It's graphic fun. All right, so we're going to start with the D minor, and we're going to go to the C. All right, let's go. So I'm going to lay that in. 2, 3. Let's add a little shaker. just for fun. All right, so now I've got my 2-chord vamp. I can get my flute and I can follow along with these fingerings, and these are my chord tones. So here's the first one, right? The second one. First one. Second one. So those are the notes you can play safely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to track the first chord and the second chord, and I'm just going to play the first note of each one. Here. Second note. Third note. Now mix and match. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I'm following, basically I'm using the cards as kind of a home base, and these are what you can think of as safe notes. You know, they're all in the chord, so they're all going to be when you play that chord. When that chord is happening, you play the notes on this particular chord. So D minor, you know, when we're here, any of these notes work. They're in the chord. When we're here, any of these notes work. Now that being said, if I play over the chord with a non-chord tone, which I can do, that creates tension. And tension is good. Tension is what makes music interesting. So what we can do with these two-chord vamps is really explore the idea of tension and release. And what I like about doing two-chord vamps especially is that it's just simple. It's back and forth. You're not playing a whole song. It's not a long chord progression. There are 3-chord vamps. There's 4-chord progressions. There's longer ones like Pachelbel's Canon, which has a bunch of chords. But two-chord vamp I love because you just get to explore tension and release. It's 2 chords. It's just your house and your neighbor's house. Your house and your neighbor's house. So let's do a different one. And this one came from our Zoom Flute Along the other day. And what you can do with the flute cards is you can literally, you know, throw them around and just mix them. You can maybe turn them over, you know. We're not going to do this right now because I want to do one specific one. But you could mix them up and then you could just pull out 2 cards and say, okay, let's do 2-6 or 6-2, you know, and see what it sounds like. Right now, well, you know what? Let's do that. I'm going to stick with, let's stick with that. And let's do, I can see right away that there's a couple, you know, that these notes are the same, right? And then these are different. Well, let's try it. Let's try 2-6. I think it's going to have a similar sound because they're both even numbers. And that's the thing, is all the even cards have a similar, they share more notes than the odd number cards, which also share notes. So let's do that. Now 2 we already know is D minor. 6 is A minor. That's just the way it is. That's a fact. So let's listen to the chords. Again, D minor and then A minor. Yeah, very similar. So I think I might want to do 6-2. I mean, you can mix and match. It doesn't matter. Really, you're going back and forth. So you might hear it, you know, you might hear the 2 as kind of the home or the 6 as sort of the home. It's just, you know, that's music. It's up to you. So this is 6-2. You know what? No, 2-6 sounds better. I'm changing my mind. That's the well, that's a nice thing about these, is you get to decide. Try them out. All right, so let's do 6-2. I'm going to keep the background and then just put in these chords real quick. So let's do 2-6. Yeah, 2-6. And how long you play a chord is also up to you if you want to create your own tracks. But you can, you know, you can have them change more often or less often. It doesn't really matter. All right, let's do these. All right, now another question that we sometimes have is, can I play a different key flute? You know? And the answer is yes. However, you just have to consider which key and what notes are available on your flute. So in this case, this two-chord vamp is really rooted in D minor, right? It's pretty D minor centric. So could I just play a D minor flute? Let's see. D minor and A minor are very similar in the notes that they have available. There's just a couple notes different. So I'm just going to play the D minor flute as is, and let's see what happens. I have a feeling it'll match pretty well, and provided that I can still do fingerings, you'll have a good idea of how well it matches. All right, let's try this. D minor flute. Same music. The reverb off. Okay, so that gives you a pretty good idea, right? You can play a couple different key flutes as long as your home chord is rooted. I actually would give you that advice that if you want to use if you want to do a two-chord vamp and you're using a slightly different foundation, the chords are maybe not matching perfectly. Like if we're playing in the key of C and I'm sticking with the chords on the cards, which in this case would be D minor, A minor, I know that that's going to match my A flute, perfectly. It will sort of, pretty much match my D flute. But if let's say I go to three chord, which would be E minor, and then I go to the 4 chord, which would be F major, E minor, F major. Let's try, where's my E? I think this is an E. Oh no, is this an E? I think it is. Let's see. E minor chord. No, so that's not my E. What is that? I think this is a C. I don't know if I have my E right here. Yeah. Okay, so this is my E minor flute. So let's try it. Let's make this long. Let's make this video super long. Let's try 3 and 4, which would be E minor to F. E, F. We're learning, you guys. Let's try it. right, what do you guys think? I think this is so much fun, you know, doing these two-chord vamps. So we're going to do more of these in the Zuma Flute alongs, and if you're not a courses tier or private lesson tier member, you can become one and join us in the Zuma Flute alongs, ask questions, make requests, and grow as a musician and learn more. So I hope this all makes sense. If not, you can message me, you know how to contact me, and have fun playing with these vamps. I'll be creating some more two-chord vamps as audio and give you guys some MP3s to play along with, and I'll post some of those, and then we'll do more live as well. All right. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions on this, message me, and enjoy. All right. See you soon.